Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning into my channel where I talk about stocks, the stock markets, and investing. I post videos daily, so if this sounds like something that you want to get more of, subscribe down below. Alright, in today's video I'm going to be talking about one part of Amazon's business that should get investors excited, and it's not what you think. Of course, when we're talking about Amazon, most investors they get excited about the Amazon Web Services segment. And of course, what's not to like about Amazon Web Services? I have here pulled up AWS, and in its most recent quarter, it generated 19.7 billion in revenue at a growth rate of 33%, and it generated operating income of 5.7 billion at a growth rate of 36% year over year. So certainly AWS is something that Amazon investors should get excited about, but that's not the segment or the part that I'm going to be talking about in this video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about advertising. Advertising has become a meaningful part of Amazon's business over the recent few years. Now, we note here, dating back to the first quarter of 2021, Amazon's advertising revenue has increased from 6.4 billion all the way up to 8.7 billion. Now, if we compare quarter over quarter, in its most recent quarter, revenue of 8.7 billion was 21% higher than the second quarter of last year, but that's coming on top of a quarter where it grew revenue 88%. So it grew 88% last year, which is remarkable, and then on top of that, it grew another 21% this year. So certainly Amazon is making gains here in the advertising business, and that's important to note because last year, globally, advertisers spent $763 billion dollars, and that was a 23% increase from the previous year. So advertising is a massive, massive market. And if Amazon can continue making gains in this arena, its potential is quite large. There isn't an area where, or there might be an area in the future where it hits a ceiling, but they're nowhere near that range here. In the previous four quarters, its revenue of let's estimate here at around 32 billion for the advertising business compared to annual sales of 763 billion for the industry. So plenty of room here for Amazon to expand into the market, and it's certainly something Amazon investors should be excited about. So in its most recent conference call, dated July 28, management was asked about the advertising business because it's been so exciting and analysts were interested in hearing more about it. The CFO, Brian Olsavsky, responding to a comment, said that right now they're still seeing strong advertising growth. And that's interesting because other advertisers are seeing significant headwinds because of the macroeconomic situation in Europe and in the US. Inflation is causing consumer activity to slow down, which is causing advertisers to pull back a little bit. In fact, Meta Platforms, the company formerly known as Facebook, actually saw its revenue decrease in its most recent quarter for the first time in over a decade. So for Amazon to deliver 21% revenue growth when Facebook or Meta Platforms saw their revenue decrease 1%, impressive to be sure. And the CFO points out that it's because I think our advantage is that we have highly efficient advertising. People are advertising at the point where customers have their credit cards out and are ready to make a purchase. It's also very measurable. So let's talk about the first point there. When marketers are advertising on Amazon, it's arguably the closest point they can get to a consumer purchase. Of course, advertisers spend money showing ads, and their whole aim is to influence your purchasing decisions. They want you to spend money at their business, buying their products and services. That's the ultimate goal. And so that's why they're advertising. And so, what better place to advertise than on Amazon when consumers are one click away from making a purchase? You can't get any closer to a purchase than one click. People on Amazon, most of them have their credit cards information on file already. And if they see the right advertisement, then one click later they can make a purchase. So advertisers are going to increasingly be interested in getting space in those in those sponsored ads, in different spaces on Amazon's e-commerce platform, to get that access to be so close to the consumer purchase. The CFO goes on to say it's also very measurable. Yes, that's another primary selling point in advertising with Amazon, is that as a marketer, you can measure how many people saw your advertisement and also how many people made a purchase clicking on one of those advertisements that you showed on Amazon's platform. So you can measure, this is how much I spent, this is how much revenue I got because of how much I spent, and then you can make a decision if you want to increase that spending or decrease that spending because you liked or disliked the results you got. That's a strong advantage compared to some other forms of advertising, compared to, let's say, advertising on a billboard. You can't really measure how many people saw your billboard, and how many people drove by and saw your billboard. I mean, you can estimate that based on how many people live in that city and how many people drive on that street in a given year and all of that, but it's going to be imprecise compared to the precision you can get with advertising on Amazon. So you can see there's fundamental advantages there that Amazon has, and this has only started to grow in the recent, I would say, 2 to 4 years, that it's gained momentum. And this is something investors should look out for, and is something that you should be excited about going forward. Okay, so let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Amazon's advertising business. Maybe some of you are entrepreneurs and you've used advertising on Amazon. Let me know what your experiences were with that. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. And if you like what you saw, subscribe down below. See you next time.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with the Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beat the market by more than 250%. Go to fool.com/Parkev to get your 10 stock picks now.